Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Dukes of Degeneracy podcast. This is episode, what are we on now? Like
13.
13? 13?
13.
Yeah, okay. Good guess. I'm here today with the boys as usual, Ryan and Matt. Uh,
Hello.
in
Salutations.
It's been a hot minute, a little bit
Yeah,
time.
it feels like it feels like way longer than it actually has been, but I think it's only been like 2 or 3 weeks. I think since
I
we
think I think we
recorded.
just skipped a week, did we not?
Was
I
it
think we
only
only skipped.
one?
I think we only skipped a week.
Maybe so. I don't know for sure. It's like because ever since moving in, dude, it's felt like I've been here for or like it feels like I've been here for like so long. It's kind of
I mean, say usually a lot of people take a while to settle into a new place, but it seemed like you've settled in pretty easily.
well, yeah. I mean, I did like just move right like a month before as well, right? And I settled in there pretty
Mhm.
quickly. So maybe
Yeah,
that's
fair
just
enough.
you know maybe that's just who I am, I guess.
Yeah, Matt, you feeling at home and comfortable in your new place?
Feel fantastic.
It looks huge.
It is
It does. It
nice.
looks massive.
It's quite spacious. Feeling good.
Yeah, I can see the kitchen back there and all that stuff.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm not moving. I stay living because I chose a college right near where I live. So, anyways, quickly in regards to our schedule, seeing as how the semester is just beginning for the three of us as a whole, we'll probably play it by ear like we did for this episode. We didn't really know if we were going to be able to record it anytime soon or if it would take a little bit of time. We just kind of got lucky and had a night where we were all good to record. So it'll likely be the same for the next episode that we do, whatever we decide to do it on, or whenever we decide to do it. So we may take a hiatus. So maybe it'll be next week. Maybe it'll be in 2 weeks. Hopefully not any longer than a month, but we'll just have to kind of just wait and see how it goes.
I don't think it'll be that. I don't think it'll be that bad. We'll find time. Don't worry. And
So
then also, it is like also around the time too when we get to do like one of the special episodes too, which I'm excited for because those are always a
yeah.
lot of fun.
Well, and funny, like it's been really fast, but the summer season's coming to an end. Like we're almost like over halfway in through the summer season of anime.
Really,
Like it
Yeah.
is like it has been fast. I mean,
I
like
haven't been watching like any of it.
I would
So
say, well, we're at episode. I think we're at episode what, like 8 or 9 of most seasonal shows
yeah,
right now. So we're
Uh,
like
I
a
think
month
nine.
away.
I
like
think
11, I
nine.
think.
No, I don't
I
know.
saw one that was at like 10 or so. I don't
Because one of
remember.
my friends like won't shut up about the detective is already dead, and I think they're on episode 9 right now.
Okay, I'm watching that show, but I'm finding it so hard to keep
Yeah, no,
watching
it has
it.
like a 6 on Mull, and if it has a
Well,
fucking
like here's the
6,
thing,
then
right?
it's like
Is that like the first episode? I was like, okay, I can get into this. This is like some hidden underground shit. And then I watched the second episode. And I was like, okay. And then I watched the third. I was like, and then like it just kept getting like
you know
more
the
and more
first
like,
episode isn't even like part of the original source material.
oh,
So does that mean that the source
Oh.
material is bad, and that's
no,
why
no,
there's
no.
stuff
The
there
source
currently?
material, no, because so pretty much episode 1 it was like the prequel, right, with like the detective and all that shit, and then I
Mhm.
guess
Okay.
episode 2 and onward is like then it just continues in manga essentially. But
well,
like,
because I can understand of like if everything that happened in episode 1 is supposed to be like a flashback,
mhm.
because the way that they
That's what
present
it
in the
is.
show is here is the main focal point of the event and how everything starts, and then they skip to episode 2 is like, all right, and here we are like 2 years later. You know, I can imagine that like episode 2 is like where the manga actually starts, and they probably
Mhm.
give episode 1 in a flashback eventually. I don't know. Anyways, that show is very mid. I'm gonna watch it anyways because it's like I feel really bad because like I want to like it, but like then I'm like,
It's just not
then
that
a
good
It's
werewolf
not
sometimes.
good.
and
I'm
like a
not
werewolf
making things
appears
better.
and I just don't know what's happening, and then like an idol wants to kill herself, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
I lost. I just forgot what was happening.
It's yeah. He keeps trying to get us to watch it, but I'm pretty adamant on like, man, I do not want to watch this. Like, it just did not look good.
Yeah, I don't.
So
It's like I mean maybe if I like when I finish it, I'll be able to say for sure if it's good or bad. But like I'm like 4 or 5 episodes in, and I just like I have no will to keep watching it.
yeah.
So I mean, like looking at all my seasonals for this season, it's a tie between this and Tokyo Avengers. I still have not watched
Yeah,
any Tokyo
it's been
Avengers.
a while since I think
know,
you watched
like, I
any
know-
of it.
I know like on Twitter people were like losing their shit over like the past like week about something happening, but I'm sure it'll just be like two of the boys like held hands at some point. Twitter fucking lost it.
The
I
Twitter,
wouldn't doubt
the Twitter
it.
shippers went crazy.
So
Yeah.
Quickly, so, since I'm already this far, I may as well like cover the last couple things about my weekly stuff. Um, Dragon Maid's good. Who would tell?
Yeah, as
Who
expected.
knows? It's good. I haven't like I think I'm a couple of days late on the newest episode. I just haven't found time to watch it, but every episode has been really good so far.
I
I
think
actually really like. I think I'm really comfortable with Ilalu as a character in this show. I really like her.
I think I'm like 3 episodes behind, I think, right now. I
Like
mean,
honestly, like it's not a show we have to rush
yeah,
anyways.
because
Like it's
there's
not
no like
the story
actual
yet.
story. It kind of just like, you know what I mean? It's a slice of life, so you can kind
I
of just
wonder
watch
what
it
they'll do
whenever.
today. Um, and then I guess to close it out,
I've been watching
Love,
Slime though, at least. Sorry.
Love Live got delayed by a week
Oh
again
no!
because of the Paralympics.
Oh
But bro,
no!
Superstar is good.
Okay,
Superstar's so good.
you know what? I'll admit this though, because like today when I was doing my homework and shit, like because like I organized all of the stuff in my playlist to like have like all the idol shit in one section because it was really annoying when like I would want to listen to an idol song and I'd play it and I'm driving and then it'd move on to a different song, or I was listening to other types of music and then it would like a random idol song would play. Although
Yeah,
to be fair, right now it's not the best organized right now either because it pretty much goes from like Burnout Syndrome Haikyuu openings to like the Love Live School Idol projects like
Is that stuff
opening
you added
one.
most recently, or what?
Yeah, just because of the order in which I was adding stuff. So I still have to organize it a little bit more. But I'll admit, like I was like, as I was listening to some of that music, I was like, "Fuck, dude!" Like, because like before I thought it was like for example the Higahiro OP. I was like before I was like, man, that's like kind of like that's cringe, you know. But like now I'm like, this is fucking good.
It
Like
is good.
I
He
enjoy
has a good
myself.
opening.
I'm in well yeah, but it's just idol music in general. I'm enjoying it right now at the very
yeah.
least.
Like
It's
like the thing with
pretty good.
idol music and like idol culture is that like I do not like. I think for a while I tried to be like very in depth and very critical about it, and then I realized I can't be in this medium and try to be critical about it. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna sit. I'm gonna turn my brain off and just enjoy the characters, the music, and the story, and then I just it's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw you had a Liella song in the screenshot you sent me of your playlist.
Yeah.
What's up with that? What song was that? Actually,
It was just so when I drove from my home to my university, I just played your guys' playlist, and so I just when I was driving, I just screenshotted the songs that I liked, and then I just added them when I got back. So
I'm gonna figure out what
I
song.
don't
I
know.
think
Yeah,
that's
you tell me. You tell
I
me
think that's
because you guys were like, "Oh, it's a spoiler! It's a
okay.
spoiler!" But that's your
You know what?
fault, if anything, because you
No.
guys kept hyping up your fucking playlist. So.
That's not. It's okay. So now that I just looked at it, that is like that's the first song that Liella released.
Hmm.
Because because I'm not sure if you know, but in both seasons, in School Idol Project and in Sunshine, at some point they just present like the first song that like the actual band came up with,
Hmm.
and that's the first song they came up with. So we're probably not going to hear it for a while, but I'm sure it's going to appear in the show. So,
Okay.
Mm.
anyways, uh, Slime Isekai, how do you like that?
Yeah, man, it's slime. Honestly, like, I mean, I'll watch it every week, but like, the seasonals as a whole, I'm just generally not interested in. Although I do plan on watching Tokyo Avengers later tonight. I haven't been watching a lot of seasonals, but I have been doing a lot of like other stuff like anime related because like of the people that I'm meeting at university. So like pretty much, we go to like one of my friends like dorms like every night, and we watch a show almost every night. I took a break after we finished. So we watched Higurashi season one. So
Okay.
24 or 26 episodes, I don't remember. Which was good. I still haven't put it on my mull yet because I'm not sure if I want to put it as a 7 or an 8. It's good though. I know Matt really doesn't want to watch it, but I actually do
This just
think
means I have to watch on my own time now.
yeah.
That means
Well,
go to
I
my
think
way to
I
watch
actually
Higurashi.
like it's good because like it's confusing at first, but one of the funnest things to do is when you're watching it like with your friends and stuff. Like you get together and like you talk about like what's possible because it's like a horror mystery, so you're trying to figure it
Mhm.
out together. So that's probably why also I enjoyed it a lot, like in particular, and like we do plan on continuing it, but we are taking a break. We're watching Shadow's House right now, which is a show by Cloverworks. It's like I don't even know what to call it. Maybe like a sci-fi, like or like fantasy. I don't know. It's really I'm honestly not enjoying it that much, but they seem to like it, so it's fine. Whatever. Um, so we're like 4 episodes into that, and then I also, my friend also owns like a lot of manga, and so I've been reading Chainsaw Man. So
Oh shit! I
I'm
gotta.
I'm 5 volumes in right now. I have actually the 6th one with me right here because I have to finish it, and so that will be the officially subtitled manga, and so I will have to do the fan subs for the rest of it if I do choose to keep going, which I probably won't. Honestly, just to be pretty frank here, I think it's all right. It's good, not great, or not like the next coming of Christ. I'm sure it gets way better.
That is a hot take. That is not like a very spicy take.
I bet it gets way better later on, or maybe I'm just not a manga reader, but I'm not I'm so not pressed to read the next thing. I only read it because I know they'll ask me about it the next day, and it's such a low commitment. It's 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
So it's
because everyone who I've seen has read Chainsaw Man, they praise it so highly.
That's why I was expecting so much out of it.
And I expected you to just join the mentality of reads Chainsaw Man. I love Chainsaw Man. And
Chainsaw Man becomes Chainsaw Man stan.
Literally, I guess it'll be good for you because then at least you can when you can watch the anime going into
I think
they don't know what it's like.
There's so many parts where I'm this would be so much better animated. So I feel like I'm gonna like it a lot more when it becomes an anime because I think Mappa's just gonna do a great job with it. But
it is Mappa's been on a roll for the past year, so
I wouldn't doubt it. Workers probably all want to kill themselves, but
yeah, let's go anime industry.
Yeah, but yeah, it's all right. It's good, but I don't know. I'm just not crazy about it,
That's fair.
Yeah.
Kind of happens sometimes. It's it was good. Not much else. It was good.
It was good. It was good. That was
good.
Yeah.
I think I've already mentioned, but the big problem with me committing to anything, and mainly I mentioned it when we talked about video games last time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I have the same problem with manga, where I don't want to commit myself to a manga, and then have it turn out to be not great, or being very okay. I want to come out of a manga having spent 300 chapters really liking it.
Yeah, obviously,
and that's
we don't like to think that the time that we put into stuff will be worth our time, but
yeah.
That's just not always the case, right?
That's probably why I like Domestic Girlfriend so much, is because I spent 296 chapters on that, and I don't want to feel like that went to waste. So that's why I like it.
It's a conversation piece at the very least.
It's awful.
We're not gonna have this argument.
I think we've already had this once before, anyways. So
I'm not arguing for or against Domestic Girlfriend. All I'm saying is that I was there for the ride, and that certainly was a little more than a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Matt? Watching anything?
Okay. So this is the first time I've ever done something like this, and this is degen as fuck.
Oh God.
Is
it? Hold on. Before you say anything, is it girlfriend?
No, not yet. Did you see I added that to my MAL?
I know.
I added it to my plan to watch recently.
I just guessed.
So okay, no, it's not that. So, okay. What I've been doing is, I've just been randomly looking for different hentai to watch, and I stumbled upon this OVA series, right? It's a 2-episode OVA.
Hold on.
And I found out that it has a whole ass anime beforehand. So currently, I am watching the 12-episode anime so that I can watch the 2-episode OVA.
What's the name of the show?
It's called Princess Lover.
How did this happen? What happened, Matt? When did you give up your humanity? What happened?
Dude, I saw a clip from the OVA version, and I was like, damn, that's hot. And I was like, I'm gonna watch the whole ass show now.
Dude, yeah, but you were okay, I meant why? What made you decide? Oh yeah, I'm gonna just watch hentai. It's just instant.
I don't know. I just kind of wanted to. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This looks like Code Geass crossover with High School DxD.
What? How? It's not even close to Code Geass.
It just looks visually.
Are you going off of visual?
Yeah, visual.
I guess kind of. Yeah, I can see it.
Bro, that main character's outfit. You're telling me that's not Lelouch.
It's all okay. It's gonna be awful. I know it's gonna be awful, but it's gonna be a 7 by default. It's gonna be.
You should. Okay, with that logic though, you need to put Domestic Girlfriend at a 7. It's
No, because I didn't enjoy Domestic Girlfriend. I'm currently enjoying
hentai,
this.
Though. It's literally a hentai.
I am currently enjoying this. I did not enjoy Domestic Girlfriend one bit. There's a big difference.
Oh my God.
It's a big difference.
But if you're saying that you're putting hentais all at 7, it's just because they're hentais.
But Domestic Girlfriend isn't a hentai.
Yes, it is.
That's
It literally has a fucking sex cut.
I mean,
So about the
true.
manga, they have half,
So-
they have half chapters which are just dojins. And it happens like 7 times throughout the show. Where it's just like, all right, cool. Here's an implicit ending of a chapter. Here's a half chapter where they fuck. Here's the next chapter.
Yeah, no. So that's basically what I've. Oh, and I also watched recently. I watched a hentai called Mama Puri. Mama Puri. Fucking something like that.
Okay.
Anyways, basically, it's just like it's literally like the classic.
Matt is telling
Hey,
us what a
son,
hentai
I'm going on vacation. This is your new mom. Have fun. Get to know each other. And they're like, okay, let's just fuck then. Like, like it's like standard hentai shit, you know.
Where did we go wrong, Alex? What
You guys are watching
done?
anime? No, I'm here watching the real
what-
shit. All right, I'm
what-
here
what
watching
could we have
what
done
we really want to
different?
be talking about.
Alex, what could we have done different?
How many
prevent
shows?
this.
How many hentai have you guys like watched all the way through every episode? Like
I
genuinely.
don't think I've watched any.
I guess I'd have to sort by OVA real quick. Let me hold up. I can count them.
I never watched them in full.
Almost every OVA I've watched is hentai. So
what
I
the
haven't,
fuck?
But you watched them just in full, like full thing.
yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Like every episode?
Uh-huh.
Like over the series of like a couple of days, or like all in
No,
one?
like all at once usually.
Uh huh.
So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh man.
That's it, 6. That are actually on my Mal. These are the ones that I could actually find on Mal. Some of them aren't on Mal. It's not that many. It really isn't that many. Come on now, like it isn't that many.
That's just. Oh man. But, so,
I'm
like,
just
this is what
listen.
you're
I'm
doing-
just
this is what you're doing with your free
unashamed.
time? This is
I'm
what
just
you're-
unashamed.
This is what you're
That's
doing
it.
with your free time.
Yeah.
You just. Okay.
Dude, I was like,
what?
fuck it. I'm just gonna watch some hentai. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
If it's hot, maybe I'll stroke one out. You know, like I don't know.
Oh man.
Okay. Should
Anyway,
we
That's
move on to the
enough-
proper
yeah,
topic of today?
That's enough of Matt's turn. Matt's turn is over.
My-
Okay.
Time that shit.
I know. Okay, I know Alex has been like this was on your 3x3 initially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know Alex has been so excited for this moment in his life
Yes.
where he gets to present somebody a show that's on his 3x3.
Because that's the thing, right? Is I look at my 3x3, and a lot of it is like one of those like a show that you have to like commit a long time to, like JoJo's, Ava, Mona. I think I consider Ava like a little more of a commitment because you have the movies as well. JoJo's, Ava, Monogatari, Code Geass, like those are like shows that you have to like sit down and like commit multiple seasons or multiple movies of time to watch. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Land of the Lustrous is one of like 2 or 3 shows that I like are like 12 episodes that you could start and finish in a night, no problem.
Yeah.
I
mean, I
but-
did.
Yeah,
He literally
but, like-
did.
but, like-
in
but,
a
like-
single night.
But like Nekopara is one thing, right? But like Land of the Lustrous is something completely different. I guess we'll just start with I guess your scores. If you would.
Well,
No
okay,
pressure?
so we know Alex's. Wait, do we? Alex, what was your score actually?
I think initially when I watched it, I gave it a 9, and then when I rewatched it again, I gave it a 10, and then every time I rewatched it after that, I stuck at my 10, and then when I read the manga, I wanted to give it a 12, but I couldn't.
Unfortunately, not possible. But
Yeah.
hey,
Okay.
Yeah.
in spirit.
So 10. It's a 10 for me.
Okay. Mm.
So on my first watch through, I gave it a 9,
Oh, God.
which I mean,
So
it's
you've watched
really
it-
good.
You've watched it more than once already.
No. Sorry, okay, so I only rewatched a couple episodes with
Okay.
Alex when he was watching them.
Oh, okay.
Because he was rewatching it as well, and I was like, "Yo, Alex, just stream it, and I'll watch
Okay.
with you."
Because you
Because
were
like,
like
why
on my
not?
first watch through, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
No. Well, okay, but to be fair, I binged it all in one night, so I'm probably gonna have to rewatch it at some point because I just feel like I probably will have missed some stuff just from the fact that I watched it from like I started at like 10 p.m. and I finished at like 5 a.m. So, like I was tired, number one, and I was just watching it all in one night anyways. So like I'm kind of bound to miss something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, given the fact that it's a 9 straight off like straight off like watching it for like in one night, I think that says something about like it's really fucking good.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I give it a 7.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 7. So okay. I need to hear. I need to know like what about the show makes you guys like what gave it a 10? I really don't understand, honestly.
I'll let Matt go. I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I mean, what stood out the most to me was that it was just fucking addicting. Like,
But, like,
that
why?
show was that and like yeah, it was addicting because it was not only like fun at the beginning, like it was like fun and kind of like lighthearted at the beginning, and like you kind of it introduces you to the world and like how stuff works and how like how the materials they're made out of work and like all that stuff. While it introduces all that stuff to it, it stays like really, really like just fun kind of. But it takes kind of like a really sharp like turn into like some real shit, like people start dying, like they get like they get taken away or whatever, and then like like I feel like the contrast of how it starts, like just kind of like seemingly like fun and happy, like kind of happy, and it does all this introducing. You kind of know that it's definitely going to take a turn south soon, but you're not really sure like how or when or like who is going to be affected or anything like that. And I thought that was really interesting about it. Also, like seeing the growth and change in Foss throughout the show was like really fucking cool. Like not only the way that like her losing her legs and then having them replaced by that what's it called? It was
The
like
shells,
the
yeah.
shell or whatever the fuck it was, right?
It was like a wasn't it like a rib cage or some shit?
Yeah,
No.
it was something like that.
Yeah.
It
I
was
don't
it
know.
was it was
Or a
it was the
spine. It was a
cage.
spine.
It was the giant shell that would contain one of the I think it was Aculetus.
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah,
one
so
of-
like when her legs got replaced with that material, and then like she lost like those memories there, and like she literally just straight up forgot who who did she forget?
Jade and Cinnabar.
Yeah, oh yeah, she just literally straight up like forgot who they were, and I was like, damn, like that's some real like that's some real like consequences to like a seemingly like not very serious like negative, because she's losing her legs, sure, but she got she got to upgrade basically. But then it was kind of like a trade-off of losing her memories and a piece of her personality as well, because she did have like a slight like behavioral change after that. It wasn't very like distinct, but it was very subtle. And then when she lost her arms and they were replaced by the gold platinum alloy or whatever it was, I think it was gold platinum, right?
It was gold platinum.
When her arms get replaced and she loses like memories that are like actually like core like important memories and stuff like that, like her personality like completely changed after that. Like she was like you could still catch glimpses of like the old like kind of like happy, like kind of sarcastic and
I feel like
goofy
that was
Foss.
more due to Antarcticite.
I was gonna say that was a,
So-
I think
That was
a
not due
lot
to the
more with
arms,
the
I would
trauma of
That's
it.
what I mean. Like I think it was both the fact that she lost her memories and lost kind of like a piece of who she was in a way, but also the trauma that comes with like literally just watching one of your close friends die. Like, yeah, that's gonna change somebody, right? And like I honestly thought the theme of like trauma and stuff like that was actually done really, really well in this show. I think that it was done like very like it was very well written, and it made sense. Everything that happened made sense, and like you could totally see how these things change a person and how they changed her in particular. It was like It was really fucking good. I don't know, like the character dynamics as well were great. Like with Bort and Daya as well. The three of them, their character dynamic, with that whole like tension with when Bort wanted to team with Foss because she wanted to like see how they would work as a team, since Foss is all of a sudden way stronger than most of the others for different reasons, right? So I thought that yeah, like honestly, I think that the characters and just the way the world has been built in that show is brilliant. I think it's beautiful, and it's also like really like dark and mysterious as well. Like I think it's got like that whole like range of characteristics to it. I really like it.
I'm gonna not gush because I do want to hear what you have to say, Ryan. So if you would. So I guess I wouldn't say aren't you giving it a higher score, but more of why are you giving it a 7?
I mean, it was. I mean, like, it was good. Like, how do I put it? I mean, I don't have any problems with like really that much of the storytelling, other than like the fact that I felt like nothing really was. I don't think a lot was like really resolved at the end of the show. I would say, which obviously because like the manga goes on further, but like it's like, oh, there's something more with Sensei. There's something more with they still doesn't have a. I guess I don't know. She kind of has a job.
Yeah, no,
It kind of sounds stupid though.
So
like the job that she got, and then also like Foss's development. Like, okay, some parts I liked, and then some parts I didn't. Like when she did have that drastic change, with Antarcticite and stuff like that. Like I just it felt weird because it was like because she's like kind of been responsible for a lot of people nearly getting captured, and so it's like why is that one so different, and it's like and like okay I really like haven't been able to put my finger on to like why I just felt very like so underwhelmed, like I did have high expectations because I heard Matt finished it in a day, and Alex was like one of my favorite shows, and like I was just like, but I watched it and I was just like, this is like a good show, but I just don't see how it really stands out, to be frank.
So I will. First of all, I want to ask both of you, what year, without looking it up, what year was the show made?
I don't know. Probably not that long ago.
I mean, I want to say it was 2013, but I don't remember 100%. I remember talking about this with you shortly after I finished it.
Admittedly, the art style of like, how do I put it? Of like the models, I should say, like isn't the best in my opinion. So actually, I did talk about CG with some of my friends because I was like, oh yeah, I finished Land of the Lustrous, and so I was saying actually that I felt like Beastars has the best CG that I think I've seen, both in art style and in like actual movements and like how natural it looks. I think Dorohedoro though takes the cake for best art style and aesthetic, but I think it looks the most choppy and it looks the most stiff. And then I think Land of the Lustrous has like the weakest like arts, like it's like the colors and all that stuff looks really pretty, but like the grass and the faces are like definitely computer, like you can tell. I think the movements are really good. I think their movements are really good, but I think just like their faces and stuff like that, I think just don't look that like impressive, I should say. It wasn't a problem when I was watching the show. Like it wasn't distracting, but I'd say it's the least impressive of the other CG shows that I've watched. So I mean, those are my thoughts on the CG, at least.
Yeah, I guess it's probably like due to like because for me, I think that is the best CG I have ever fucking seen. I haven't seen Beastars, so I have no idea exactly what you're talking about. At least compared to Dorohedoro, I didn't want to say that Dorohedoro's art style was better or worse. I just think it's different from what Land of Lustrous.
Yeah, I feel like everything that Dorohedoro did with the CG there was more of a stylistic choice, like compared to like a limitation. I think it was just how they chose to do things. And it might have been because they had some limitations. They were like, okay, we can make a stylistic choice to make it so that this limitation doesn't actually affect us. But again, I still think it was like a stylistic choice, and it is different. And I do definitely prefer Land of the Lustrous' style to Dorohedoro's, I think, by a long shot.
Also, to answer that question, 2017. That was made in 2017.
Yeah, so not that long ago.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's been 4 years, and I'm crying because I want a new season so bad. I will do anything.
Where did it stream?
It's good.
Where did
Pardon
it
me?
stream when it dropped?
I think it was Crunchyroll.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was Crunchyroll because it was made by Studio Orange. Um,
I don't know them. I mean, to be frank, I don't know if you'll get one. So.
yeah, I really hope we do. Because right now we're on hiatus with the manga.
Mhm.
I think I don't even know. I don't even know where the fuck the manga is going anymore, man.
Why is it like fucking jumping the shark type shit or what?
I mean, like, bro, the manga has gone like the thing with this, right? Is that this is my first time watching it after having read the manga.
Mm-hmm.
I want to cry. Not because the anime hasn't gone further, but because I look back to how it all started, and I realize how far things come, and it changes so much in the manga. The manga, like so many things change,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the big thing for me. I do want to bring it up because I don't want to mention it yet. The music,
I think the music was the best part of the show for me. I would say.
Mhm.
I think not
It was
because not
really
only because after having listened,
I love when the Lunarians come in and it's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
So
It's good.
great.
It's a good
I
track.
was thinking about adding that to my soundtracks playlist. I went on a long ass hike today. I should have like listened to that because it was like a 2.5 hour hike or something like that.
yeah. I mean, I will say the song that plays when the sunspot appears, that will give me inherent anxiety at any point if I hear that.
Dude, like you're watching it earlier, and I heard that come on, and I was like, "Whoa, oh god!"
But even like the battle music, for that, like God,
Yeah, it's
so
good.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then not even mention the openings. At least the opening, that is like that's top 5 for me. That opening,
It's really good.
I love that so
I feel
much.
like okay, well, like what about like from an animation or like the art, like the stuff going?
I
Because like from
I think both visually and audibly. I think they both work amazing on their own, and they work amazing together.
how okay, but like I just don't see a lot of relevance to its plot. I guess that's what
I don't care.
You don't really
Have you-
need that though.
Let's talk about
Doesn't-
Donor
doesn't
I
Hate
matter.
guess
Donor.
I think it makes better. No, I've said that from like an art perspective that I
That
think
doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
I
The
mean,
plot
I'd
in the
say-
opening doesn't matter, really.
I think it can make it better though. I'm just saying, and so like that's why I probably wouldn't put it in
Maybe,
my top 5.
I guess,
I-
but
I would
like,
say it definitely does.
But
in
then,
my opinion.
like for example, when I watched like Sword Art Online's opening, it wasn't a fact of okay, cool. I know that I like it. Like okay, cool. It's a cool song. It's like who's that guy? I guess I'll see him in like 5 episodes, and then I see him. I'm like, cool. I guess I know who this guy is. It's more of like I see the opening. If it has story relevance, then the opening is not a spoiler, but it's like alluding to shit, and I don't want to see that. You know, I want to experience the story in its whole. I guess it's cool. Like if they're gonna hint at something, I want it to be in the show itself, in the story, alluding to something that's gonna happen, but not that it be from something completely separate, like the opening.
See,
You know?
well, like as a viewer, like I just or like you know some like I guess from a first time perspective, I guess, but like I'm just saying that it couldn't hurt and it because like okay if you look at OPs like Mob Psycho or like Beastars or something, you know, it's like it has some symbolic relevance to its plot, or you know makes references to different events and stuff. Same thing for JoJo's, right? Like I think like that's what makes OPs kind of stand out and like what makes it a little bit more interesting. And I'm not saying by any means that the Land of the Lustrous OP is bad. I'm just saying that like I'm not gonna put it in my top 5. Just
So
because,
I'm not gonna
one,
say
I'm not gonna. It's not my favorite song. I thought it was a good song, but I'm not like, you know, drooling over it. And I don't know. From an animation standpoint, it doesn't really stand out to me at all.
I'm not gonna go over it, but there is plot relevance to that opening, but it's all manga spoilers, so I get it. But
I get it, but you're wrong. Basically, what you're trying to say. It's basically what you're trying to say.
I get it, but I know you wouldn't be able to understand, so it's fine.
I mean, well, like okay, so why didn't you just say that earlier? I thought you said it didn't matter.
Well, like I just think as a
I
whole,
mean, in my opinion, it
as a
doesn't.
whole,
Right,
brand,
he's contradicting himself. Is what I'm saying.
it's not like a big.
You
It's
can
there's
just
not. It's
change your
like
mind.
yeah, it's not like big stuff, and it's not stuff that's very evident. But never. Point being, I think overall, I don't really care how much of the story is revealed in the opening
Mm-hmm.
or how relevant it is.
Mhm.
You know. Anyways, trying to think of what else there was worth mentioning. Do you guys have any favorite characters?
I mean,
Or
how
favorite,
can you
like,
not love Foss? I don't know.
mean,
How can you not like Foss? That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't. Foss
I
was
mean,
alright.
I will say for sure, the one thing, like, because I only know one person that that dislikes Land of the Lustrous, and that's Christian. And the only reason Christian dislikes Land of the Lustrous is because he doesn't like how the show got sad because Foss changed. That's the only reason he didn't like the show. Is because Foss changed.
Show got sad, me no like.
I didn't. Yeah, again, I'm not like the craziest about how they went about the Foss change because like it seemed like all of the other shit that happened to her. I felt like because she spends like the first because like I can see what they're trying to do where it's like, oh yeah, she's like a burden and then she has to like but she wants to become more useful to everyone around her, right? Because like every time she breaks, everyone's like, oh, does it really matter? Or like when it was like the slug and stuff, it's like, is this really different, right? I'm saying like okay, I could see that, and then it's like, oh yeah, she's like changing and becoming more useful, but it's coming at a cost of her personality and blah blah blah. Like I can see how that's like compelling or whatnot, but I really don't like how I don't hate it, but like she was like she was a nuisance and like caused problems for everyone, right, in the first half, and then it's like because Antarctica was captured instead of the other ones just shattering it and like not quite being captured, then her mindset changed, I guess, and it's
I think it was more because she realized that it was entirely her fault.
The other stuff was too.
It was entirely Phosphofolite's fault for why.
Okay, but then it'd just be, in my opinion, just be kind of weird storytelling to be like, oh yeah, it was only partially her fault in every other occurrence. So, like, it was only partially her fault in the other occurrence.
I think it more came down to the fact that.
Like,
no, I think that it more came down to the fact that every other time, like somebody else was there to save the day, whether it was the sensei or whether it was Bort even, like there was always somebody else there to back her up and save the person that she put in danger.
Well, like
right. So when she was alone, she had to confront the fact that she really is useless. But I just felt like, I just felt like that should have gone through to her head. Like earlier, that's just my opinion.
Well,
not like earlier, but like I really like don't see why it wouldn't have gotten to her head.
It makes more sense for her character to have the track that it did. It made more like for the way her character was introduced and written in the beginning. It made more sense for that to be the way it turned out than what you're thinking. Like if you were in her position, yeah, you would have clued in sooner and been like, yeah, I'm fucking useless. I'm a problem. I should probably like do something to like stop putting other people in danger. But the way she was written, it made a lot more sense the way she reacted and the way she did things because she wanted so badly to be useful and she just couldn't understand that she was like being a more harm than help in every case. And like she knew, but she wasn't able to act on that. She just wasn't able to. And I think that was more just better writing to fit her character than to be logical. Like it obviously, yeah, it's more logical to do what you said, but that's not her character. Her character wasn't very logical. She's very like sarcastic and like doesn't really give a shit and like I'm just gonna try and do my best at however I can, and then she fucks up and that's it, right? Mm-hmm. Like I don't know, I think it fit her character way more the way they did it than like what you're saying, anyways.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I get what you're saying. I just personally don't like how it turned, like how that's what it took, I guess. I don't know, or that I just personally felt like it wasn't very different. But I mean, I get what you're saying, Matt. Other things that kind of bothered me was just, I mean, like I get it. It's like a season 1, but like so many unanswered stuff. Like, oh yeah, why are they throwing all these new creatures in at just in such a short time span? Oh yeah, like
I
why
can't talk about
does
it.
this
I
sense
want to
that
talk about it
I'm just
so
saying that
bad.
it's I'm just saying that it like I just felt very like very unsatisfied with the season one as I just felt like it didn't do anything for
No,
me.
I like that's the
And
thing.
I think the
Yeah,
Foss change was like the biggest thing that happened, but like the Dia thing I thought was kind of like I felt like they were doing a good job with it until the ending when she was just like she just decided to fight and like that was like her resolution. I was like, okay, this is like weird. I don't know. She was just like, yeah, I'm gonna like start fighting now, and that's like that was
I
her.
hate that I can't. I hate that I can't talk
I mean,
about it.
I don't give a fuck what happens in the manga if I don't see anything as just an
Yeah,
anime only watcher. If I'm not satisfied with what I'm seeing, then like it's just poorly written because I'm not everyone's gonna go and read the source material, and so I
no,
think
yeah,
her arc, the conclusion of it was bad because it's just like, oh my god, she now has to find a purpose, kind of like Foss, blah blah blah, because Bort wants to find a new replacement, and then she's just like, I will now fight for myself and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know.
I'm telling you. By the way,
So
if they make a
not
season
having
two
fun.
for this show, it's gonna be incredible. I'm not like all the
I
source
don't
material they
care. I
have to
don't
work
care
with for a
though.
second
I'm just we're
season.
talking about
I'm
season
not.
one.
I'm not trying to change your mind, but I'm just saying season two for the show, if it ever happens, is gonna be the spiciest shit you've seen in a hot minute. Guarantee you. So,
I guess.
I mean, yeah, I can get what you're saying when it's like, oh, I wasn't very satisfied. I just think that I was like it's different from feeling like for me it was like yeah there was definitely there's definitely unanswered questions, but it's more like I need to know more versus oh I wish I knew more. It was like I wanted to get more, and like it made me feel good about the show because I wanted to know more versus like when we did Dota Hidoto, and I was kind of like, I was kind of like a little bit like disappointed at the end because I was just like, oh, that's it, that's all we're getting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer. Like that's what I mean. Like it's a difference in feeling for me. So I mean, I guess maybe you got that similar feeling where you're just like, oh, that's it. Like that's all we're getting for this.
I mean,
Like is that
well,
kind of how you felt or
so
like?
I agree that like Dota Head Dodo like didn't. I do think that there were developments, but I think the main difference in my opinion from Dota Head Dodo to Land of the Lustrous is I just didn't like its like I guess like scaling or if that's like a good term because I guess that
Mm.
kind of connects Daya's and Foss's developments where it's like I felt like and same thing for even Sensei's where like how like there were like those hints to like his connection with Lunarians or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And like in the Ningen and all that shit, like when he heard humans and stuff. Like I felt like I guess like some of the like I felt like that was just like how do I put it? Okay, so like Foss's like I didn't like the scaling for Foss's because I just felt like the events that occurred earlier like weren't that much different in my opinion. Like it was different and like I can understand from a storytelling perspective, but I felt like the way that her character progressed kind of felt like a it felt weird because I felt like oh this like all this stuff happened earlier and so now she decides to change and like that's my opinion on her scaling. And then same thing for Daya where it's like I felt like they were doing kind of a good job kind of leading up to it, but then she just decided and then her character kind of was just like oh yeah like I'll fight on my own now and stuff and like that was her conclusion and so for that reason I didn't like how that was like really scaled. And then from the sensei stuff where it's like you kind of you're like oh shit like this guy has like an actual connection to the Linearians or whatever, but like that stuff was like hinted earlier when like for example like all those like people things like reached out to him right like
yeah,
when they
Mm.
all
Admiral.
like
Yeah.
spawned
Oh
at
no,
like
those
at
those
him.
guys, those aliens, yeah,
And there was also like some sort of flashback or something. I don't remember what it was, but and
uh,
like
yeah,
I felt
that.
like the one where like they all spawned like at his at the base or whatever was not very different from like it doesn't tell us anything more than I think the tiger, and so or like the dog thing or whatever. I don't know why I thought of it as a
Zero.
tiger. Yeah,
Yeah, Shiro.
I felt like it didn't really tell us anything more, and it was just like a reminder, like, hey, he has a connection to Linarians, guys, and so it's like that's why I felt like that, like a lot of stuff wasn't really resolved, and there wasn't much development in that case. It was just like, oh yeah, we're reminding you that like, this is the plot element, and like, that should keep you interested.
Well,
And
I
also,
think
the most interesting part of the show, in my opinion, was the fucking the what Shin Shabar? I don't know.
Cinnabar?
Cinnabar, yeah, and like I felt like that was like she's like, can you help me figure out his connection to the Linearians, and I just didn't whether or not that's supposed to be like the end goal for her job or whatever, but like I still have yet to figure out why that's something only she can do, I guess.
so. I can no. So that's so a couple things, right? So the problem with that, with the whole thing of, is that so like because Foss's promise was, I want to find a job only that only you can do,
Mm-hmm.
and then she comes up with this job, and the whole reason that Cinnabar didn't say yes to it was because anyone can do it,
That's my point.
and
so,
that and then like I mean that's not like an accident or like bad writing. That's purposeful.
Mhm.
Shiro's
so then you're
story,
saying that nothing's changed regarding that.
I know too much.
Uh-huh.
The whole idea with Shiro in the story is not to remind you that it's not to, to an extent it is to remind you that Congo has some connection with the Lunarians or some past. But I think its main use is to be that is the like the last straw for Thaw to think for Foss to think there's something up here. Because for the longest time up until that point, she's like, something might be happening. I can't tell. And then once that happens, she's like, no, that's it. Something's up here.
Didn't she like bring it up with Cinnabar though, like before that happened? I don't remember. Before
No.
No, I think that was immediately
That was-
after. I think it was like
yeah.
literally immediately after.
I guess. I mean, I
Like,
just
I'm not-
think
I'm
it's
not
a crazy
And then
name.
and then all the whole thing with Pad Paracha, dude, I like her. Her
Was that the one where
they,
she
I like Pad
fill her
Paracha.
up and stuff?
Yeah, the pieces that they had to fill. Yeah, so I really like that little like thing where she's like basically just like a broken like what are they called again? What are they called?
What, the Lustrous?
Yeah, oh, just the lustrous, right? Yeah. Yeah, the fact that she's like basically like just at all times just doesn't function, and then they have to like substitute pieces for her to try and like get her to like be functional for a little while. And I honestly really thought that interaction between Foss and Padparacho was really interesting and like kind of like because you kind of learn a little bit and you get an understanding that there is a reason why only Cinnabar can do it because all of the others have already just decided that we don't care that there's something up. We just are going to keep on doing our jobs anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. It's like that. You know what? I'm just putting the blinders on and I'm just going to do my job, and that's it. And that's like a very like common thing in just in society as well, which is why I thought it was really cool because it's a kind of a societal commentary as well on how some people just put the blinders on and do whatever they need to do and don't give a shit about anything that else is going on, whether or not like no matter how big it could be. But only Cinnabar and Foss are the ones that are willing to go and investigate and look into this and try to get to the bottom of it. Like that was and that's why it was like it's kind of anybody can do it, but there is a reason why she chose Cinnabar in particular because Cinnabar is the only one that's willing to do it. That's the difference. So she's like, it's not quite good enough. It's not what I promised because she says that she's like, it's not quite what I promised, but I want you to do it. I want you to be the one that I'm doing this with.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, I was like, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I understand why you gave it a very like okay score. As long as you can.
It's okay. I give a lot of shows 7s, but like not because I think
as
they're
long
okay.
as long as you like from what I understand here, as long as you can acknowledge that it's good and that's it, then that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Because
Because I can see what they're doing with a lot of it, but I just wished that a lot of it went the other direction, and then I never felt like very like impacted by a lot of that stuff that happened. I don't know.
But when Matt comes up to you and says, "Where can I read this?" Now you know that he's hooked. You know that, the show did a good ass job.
Mm-hmm.
And for Matt, who does not read manga at all, that's saying something.
To even think about it, because I still haven't started.
Mm-hmm.
But for it to be on my mind at all is like, that's saying how much I enjoyed the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to give it a 10 because I didn't think it was like I didn't think season 1 on its own was a masterpiece, but I thought it was really fucking good. And I was like, if I can get more of this, I think this has a lot of potential to be like really, really good. So, that's why I was kind of like, all right, let's see. I'll find out where I can read this, and if I want to read it eventually, I will be able to.
Also, Matt brought this up a while ago, and I thought I should bring it up to you as well, Ryan, just because some people he was confused by it when he was watching my the website that I was watching it on, the way that it was subbed for me, and I think I should mention it to you. How did they address any of the jewels or the lustrous?
What do you mean?
Like when you watched it, like in the subtitles.
When you watched it, did they say they're like, oh, he's chilling, like, because like basically what pronouns did they use to allude to the lustrous?
I don't remember.
Do you remember? Because I mean, like the one that I watched was they used she, and I was like, this makes sense. Most of them are usually like relatively feminine looking. A lot of them have female voice actors as well, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then when I was like watching it with Alex earlier, and they were referring to them as he's, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? I got confused again, but then I forgot that like the whole point is that the lustrous are gender, like they don't have a gender. They're gender neutral.
Right.
They don't have gender. So like I think Alex also said that there's some versions that refer to them as they as well.
Yeah. So I went on my first watch of the show. They did not use any pronouns at all. They just called them they. And when I think when I rewatched it 1 or 2 times, I had it as she, and this time when I watched it, I had it as him. It does not matter. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
They are rocks. And the manga,
it's kind of cool because it's like, oh, that's a thing that is like people too. Like some people don't want to have pronouns or whatever, right? Like they want to use different pronouns. Like it's like cool. I didn't know that'd be in an anime. That's like I wasn't expecting to see that in an anime. I was just like, nice.
Yeah.
In the official translation for the manga, they stick it as they. But I guess it's just kind of like up to interpretation by the subbing studio as to whatever they want to use.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say from the like actual dubbing, right? What did they do? You have any clue?
The actual dubbing? I'll have to check. Actually, I think they used he in the dub, but I'll have to check.
Not in English. I'm saying like in the Japanese language.
The Japanese dub. They used he. They used he in the Japanese dub, and that's why it was for me. Because in the scene where Daya finishes fighting Shiro, and then Bort comes in immediately after. Bort says Nissan, and it translates directly to like Big Brother.
Yeah,
and so, Alexandrite uses Aniki, which is like bro.
Yeah. So it's not like it's definitely like I guess the only reason why they would sub it as he, at least, or like him for like what I was watching, was it was like a direct translation.
Yeah.
So it'd be him because it's a direct translation. It'd be she because they look like more feminine.
They usually have more effeminate figures, yeah.
And when you're confused and don't understand anymore, you just use they. And that's what some of the studios used. So.
Okay.
Oh fuck! I had a thought and then I just lost it. Damn it! I hate when that happens.
That's it. If you guys have any questions about like how anything in the show works, because I think out of any universe from any show that I've seen, they every rule that they set in place does not move. It does not budge at all, and it always.
It's not like JoJo's.
No. It's not like whenever a stand dies, the user dies.
Super yeah, so
until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't. So consistent, isn't it?
And also every stand has a range. It can't go out of its range until
they don't.
Yeah.
Don't this is actually the joke that me and my friends make a lot, is like Starfinger. Oh man.
Happens 2 times? Once? 2 times?
And so apparently it happens I think 3 times, but 2 of the fights are back to back, and then I think they use it a 3rd time in the Anubis fight when like it's like the sword, right? And but like technically that's not true to the source material because they only used it twice in the manga, but the anime just added it in, and it was like so irrelevant too. It was also same thing with like Silver Chariot's like armor. It's like, oh, if you take off my armor, I'm so much faster. It was completely irrelevant for the rest of the story. But then they mixed that with the Starfinger thing in that fight, and it was totally irrelevant though.
I want to quickly ask: did you guys get any of the things that when they mentioned the inclusions? Because I had a really tough time understanding that when they mentioned
my brain my brain just was like, I'll probably understand this if I read the manga. I'll just vault it and not think about it.
What kind of references do they make? I just don't remember.
It was not a reference. When they mentioned inclusions, did you have any idea what they were talking about then?
When did this happen? I just don't remember.
So inclusions, it's not like an event. It's just a thing that
when did they mention inclusions? Like what are you talking about?
Mainly, they mention it every single time that someone gets repaired, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So to kind of like go over it again, inclusions are basically microscopic organisms that live inside all the life.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. That was for some reason for me.
Like
That was
their life source, you know.
That was such it's not a life source, but that was basically
it's what gives their bodies like life, because they're like, oh, if it rejects or accepts those rocks, and it's like, yeah,
mm-hmm.
I mean.
So I was gonna say that was a concept that I had a really hard time like getting a grasp of for some reason. But now that I understand it fully, I want to ask if you guys had any questions on that, because it is like it very much like that is one thing that they always talk about. It's always, lose a limb, your inclusions are gone with it, with all the memories that may have been stuck in that limb.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I missed anything or was like that confused about anything. I just kind of was just like, I wish they went other directions with this stuff. That's all. I mean, again, any information that they were trying to relay all got through perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. I wish that there was either more of it or they did it differently. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Matt?
In my head with the inclusions thing, I kind of related it to blood types, because I was like, it's like, if you have a compatible blood type, then you can take like infusions of other people, right? That's what I kind of figured. I was like, oh, so it's kind of like, Foss has like, what is it? O negative, I think, is the most compatible blood type. So she just can take anything, basically. Whereas some other people might have trouble like accepting the things that she had like grafted onto her, because their inclusions weren't going to take it because their blood type is different. And I thought it was like kind of cool. I was like, oh, that's an easy like little like relation to me. I was like, perfect. That makes perfect sense. I got it.
Yeah. We're
good.
I've actually never really thought like that. So no, that's definitely more of the idea of what it's like.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry?
No, never mind. That was more of a suspension of disbelief thing, because I was like, remember when they said that Foss's color was super precious or like desired by Lunarians, and then they kind of just ran away with Antarcticite and just kind of fuck off.
Yeah, she was locked in a box.
Locked in a box, didn't make any noise.
No,
I don't think
Didn't she kill the other thing?
You mean when she was running towards them and trying to catch up to them? I think they got one and they're done.
I think
they usually grab one and leave. That's usually how it works. Except for with Amethyst, yeah. But like Amethyst is like they're the same thing, right? So if you're gonna grab both of them, if they're right there, you have them, you might as well go, right? Like you have them both, you may as well just go.
I just see it as just as a suspension of disbelief thing. It's just like, oh yeah, it's more convenient for the plot this way. And so I felt like probably the mention about how desired Foss is, because it played no relevance to the rest of the show. I don't care what happens in the manga. It's just like kind of like an Iraqi thing, I guess.
I don't think that's ever brought up again. That will be honest. I don't think that's ever brought up. I don't think they mention it in the manga.
If you think about it, they all are very desirable colors. They're all very desirable things.
But the fact
they
had to mention that at the start was just kind of like, because then that's what's supposed to like, especially when it's the start of the show, like, when they say that, it makes you think, oh, okay, so like that's how she's going to have relevance despite her being a pretty weak most scale or whatever. Like
no,
not being able to do any jobs, like that's her relevance or whatever. But
turns
out it's just completely irrelevant that fact.
Also, being told that she has a precious color is like your parents telling you you're special. It's like
I don't think they told it to her specifically. I don't remember. I don't think they did. I thought it was like, I don't remember. I just remember hearing that though, and like, I was like, oh, okay. That's a conclusion I draw.
I was kind of looking for it as well when I was watching, but I was like, oh, it never really played a part. Okay, who cares? I kind of put it in like the thing like, oh, whatever. Like it doesn't really matter.
Same here. No, that's what I was thinking. Right? It was just like, oh yeah. I was just like, oh, okay. This is like, as a JoJo's watcher, you just get used to it. You're like, okay, it's irrelevant now.
I guess it doesn't actually matter.
Fine.
Okay, never mind.
That's fine. Whatever.
I thought it was gonna matter.
I didn't care about
not.
it anyways. I didn't care about it. I just drew a conclusion when they said it, and then they just forgot about it. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Also,
Yeah,
I
I was expecting something to come out of that too, but then nothing happened. I was like, all right, well, whatever. No
gotta
big
say
deal.
the whole gold platinum alloy thing, that is probably one of the coolest ways I've seen.
Oh,
Like,
it was pretty sick.
Yeah, that
mechanic.
was cool.
It's I love it a lot.
I mean, I'm more interested in the fact that like the like the I don't even know if it's like ethical, but it's like, oh yeah, like what do you choose? Are you choosing between, you know, keeping more of yourself or making yourself stronger and stuff? That was what interested me. The powers themselves, I like were like cool, but like I was more interested in that kind of conversation.
Yeah, that theme where it was like you're trading your power for pieces of yourself. You know, like that's what it was like. It was like kind of interesting. And I was like, you know, I wonder if that'll become like a more like I wonder if it'll become like a more in-depth theme later on, right? Like I wonder if, you know, she'll have to like, you know, really fight with that, you know, down the line.
Yeah,
And like
it
it's
hasn't
definitely like a
appeared
cool thing that could happen. Yeah, no, and it hasn't
which
right now,
is
but
a
My
little
lips
upsetting.
are sealed.
Because like, you know, I feel like I just, you know, feel like they're just not doing a lot with some of the stuff right now. It's just kind of like, wow, this is like very underwhelming. But that's just me. So I mean,
and
I've said what I've wanted to say about the show at this point. Like,
one thing that I wanted to see, like I was curious what was going to happen, like when she got the gold platinum alloy, and because she got it in the winter when it's cold, I was like, metal like that, because it's very like liquidy, like it's not really like, you know, completely solid all the time. I was wondering if that was going to become like a mechanic where in the winter it worked the way she wanted it to, but then it gets to the summer where it's hot and she like can't move them because they're just like drooping all the time. I was like, I wonder if that'll be a thing. And it didn't happen. I was like, oh,
yeah,
darn. I wanted to see them problem solve that. That would have been cool.
kind of play into more of the rock kind of like geology part
More of
it
like
or
this,
whatever.
yeah, more of like the sciencey kind of thing,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I
Like,
think that would be cool. And like, okay, actually, this is kind of I did think about this when I was watching it. Is that I think of these kind of rock things, like, you know, and how they kind of determine their roles in like the society and kind of stuff like that, right? Because like the harder diamonds will be fighting, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff, right? The weaker stuff won't be. Like that kind of relationship, I think is similar to like a lot of like the anthropomorphic shows, kind of like Beastars and stuff, where it's like, you know, there's like this divide between herbivores and carnivores and stuff. Essentially, you guys don't have to listen to this, but this is a sales pitch. I'm just saying, don't worry too much about the animal shit. It's not weird if you don't go to the subreddit, okay? Just watch the show. The show is good, okay?
Subreddits make everything weird.
And it makes it interesting because it adds to the characters, and you know, you can kind of draw the connections from the show and what's in real life when it's and how it affects their position in society. And I just think that's interesting and
A furry apologist.
way of going about it. And I'm just saying, watch the show. It's not that weird if you don't make it weird, okay? All I'm saying. That's my sales pitch. I'm sorry.
Stars is something I know I'm gonna watch eventually. I know it's good.
So good.
Okay, I'll get to it.
Okay.
So, anyways, I'm glad I'm glad this echo chamber of me liking the show worked out. So that's good. I don't even care that you had problems with it, Ryan. As long as you enjoyed it, at the very least,
I
that's
don't
all.
regret watching it by any means. I thought it was good. I'm just not gonna like. Oh well, like I'll even recommend it to people if I find that scenario. But I would not rewatch it. I would not go to the manga, and yeah, it's that simple.
Would you watch a second season if it came out?
If it's a seasonal, yeah. I mean,
It answers questions.
Then probably, yeah.
It answers questions.
I didn't hate it. I mean, I don't care. I don't care about the questions and answers. I guess I'm just saying, or at least in regards to like how I feel right now. I'm just saying, like I know. I guess you weren't trying to use this as an argument, but it's not going to change my knowing that some of the problems get solved in season 2 isn't going to make you know make me change.
I'm not like again the whole idea with you rating the show is all centered around that season. You know, I'm not I can't expect you to go and read the entire manga and then come back and rate the season based on all the manga. You have to rate according to that season.
Right.
I think that the manga just made me I think I just liked it more because I realize I can actually notice like some foreshadowing that I never noticed before. That's all.
Yeah.
So
okay.
All right. Well, I guess that's about it for that. So as I mentioned before, we don't exactly know when we're going to be recording next, but we will put out another Common Grounds maybe just some suggestions for common grounds. I have a feeling that you guys. I mean, Ryan, you seem like you've got some things on your chest. If you want to go ahead and suggest something, we're
okay. So, like with my friend group, right? We like I convinced them all to make 3x3s, and then we all presented it to each other. And so one of them even made a manga 3x3, and he had this show that's also an anime that's been recommended to me before, but like I haven't like gotten to watch it yet because I sometimes just forget about it, and stuff. And so I would have actually, because when we finished Higurashi season 1, we were trying to figure out what shows to watch next. And I would have recommended this show, but then I realized, wait, I kind of want to watch this alone. And so I ended up recommending Bakemonogatari, but it was vetoed because one of them had never heard of it, which is bullshit.
That's stupid.
He knew. That's what I'm saying, because he's like a JoJo fanatic too. He knows like all the irrelevant pieces of JoJo information and trivia, and he like he watches certain shows, and he watches like really trashy shows too. But like he just dives like into those few shows, but he doesn't know anything outside of them, like at all. Like there's so many big shows that he's just never heard of, and I'm like, the Monogatari series is like one of the biggest fucking IPs in anime, which is fucking like, how have you never heard of it? But whatever.
It's the biggest hidden IP, I gotta say. Like people,
I wouldn't say it's hidden by any means.
I wouldn't say it's hidden, but like it's big. But like people like, I know that girl from the opening. And it's like, yeah, that's
I know Renai Circulation.
Yeah, like people know things from the show, but they don't know about the show itself. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I mean that can be said about like other shows too. It's like JoJo's. It's like you didn't know that, the to be continued meme, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I didn't know that was from JoJo. When I saw it, I didn't know it was from JoJo's, but I knew the meme was there.
So it's one of those things, I think. But anyways, as I was saying, okay. So I ended up recommended Monogatari. They vetoed it. I'm still mad about that, but whatever. Okay, the show that I want to recommend though is Girls Last Tour. If you guys have heard of it.
Oh fuck! I've been meaning to get to this.
Yes. So okay, Matt, go ahead and look that up if you want. But pretty much, I'll just read the synopsis right now. Or should I? Oh, that's too long. Okay. Pretty much, it's about like two like anime girls in a post-apocalyptic world, and it's just like them kind of getting through life, And it's like, but I I want to like.
Let me explain it better. All right.
Yeah, you got it.
So it's about these two girls, and it is like post-apocalyptic, like post-war. And they're in a world where there is nothing. It is just dead nuclear winter. It's just, and all they have is the two of themselves and a tank. It's not really a tank, but it's kind of like a rover to an extent. I don't really know how to describe it.
I see it. I'm looking at it.
And all they're doing is they're just scouting around, trying to survive. So scouting for parts or for food or anything. And they are the only two people that have for themselves. That's about it. All I know, like I know that some friends of mine watched it a while back, and Ant, if you guys remember, I mean, you know who Ant is. I think both of you do. He doesn't read manga, and he read the manga for this after the show.
Uh-huh.
So
one thing that I will say actually is that the anime doesn't finish like. There's like still like the end of the manga that you have to read.
Yeah, and it's still like if they had animated the entire thing, it would maybe be like another like 7 episodes.
Mm-hmm. It was like a really awkward amount. So
it's not too much longer, but it's like a little over halfway in what they animate. So
but I still really want to watch it. So that is my suggestion, at least.
Okay, Matt.
I had a couple. I took out 4.
Oh Jesus! How many did you have?
I just kind of like was looking at my plan to watch, and I was like, what would I watch here?
Yeah.
So I was thinking 86 is there from last season, from spring. And then I also. Sorry.
Is season 2 coming out this fall or winter or something?
I think so. Yeah, sometime relatively soon. Yeah. But I've heard plenty of good things about it. Down to watch another mecha show. Sounds sick. Also from spring, Alex has been wanting me to watch this for forever. Vivi.
Oh, I'm gonna be biased.
And then I also was thinking Devil's a Part-Timer because the second season came out, or is it coming out, or is it came out? I don't remember. It's coming out soon. Coming out soonish. Soonish.
I think it's like next spring. I thought. but it could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's early 2022.
Yeah.
So I was thinking Devil's Part-Timer because I was like, that's a
actually-
like people like that show and like it'd be fun.
That's a classic that I've never seen.
It's not a classic.
Mhm.
Is it not a classic? I
It's not a
swear to
classic.
God.
Are you fucking kidding? No, it's not.
I don't know, but I don't know about a
And a
classic. It's just
classic out to everything,
it's
I
just a
guess.
well liked anime.
Yeah,
that's like in the same. It's just well liked. It's
Yeah.
very well liked.
Yeah. People that watch it, they're like, yes, it was good.
2000. Oh, hold on. 2012.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
I mean, it's
not-
on. I believe it's on my friend Shaz's 3x3. I think. So that also is a reason because I was like, he really liked it, so maybe I'll like it. I don't know. Maybe it'll be pretty good.
I almost don't want to choose Viv. I mean, okay, my only suggestion, I kind of wasn't going to give anything. I was going to offer either Serial Experiments Lane, which we could do, or if you guys wanted to, I'm down for Castlevania. So
I think Ryan like perma vetoed that.
yeah, and then I think didn't you veto Serial Experience Lane as well?
Pretty much,
So I
yeah.
think those two
Okay.
are both
Oh,
vetoed.
and then I have no suggestions.
Okay.
I almost don't want to do Vivi because I don't want my my illusion of being a good show to get shattered.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna
so-
pick it apart and ruin your
so-
fucking show.
So here's my thoughts. Okay, I'd say, so I'm going to watch Girls Last Tour anyway. So if we don't watch it this week, I'm still gonna watch it. And I've seen Devil's a Part-Timer, and Alex has seen Vivi. So I'd say we either do Girls Last Tour because I'm gonna watch it anyways, or we do 86. That's what I think.
I'm kind of down for Girls Last Tour because I know
I'm
it's
down to watch that. I've heard. I've like from what you guys have said, it sounds interesting, and like, you know what? Fuck it. Why not?
I'll read the- I'll read the
I'm
manga
down.
before it's done, honestly.
I don't know if I'll do that, but we'll
I think I
see.
might. Depends on how much.
I may as well just to finish it up because honestly, we could probably have a multi-layered thing where I mean, if you're not going to read the manga, we could discuss the manga after if we wanted to. Just you and I, Ryan.
Yeah, we could. But well, okay. A lot of this depends on like how much time I have too. I have like
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the fuck my schedule, dude. Today, like all my days are so fucking busy. It is like actually ridiculous, and it's like don't get me wrong. I do find time to like sit down and play video games and shit, right? But it's like even if I don't know, man.
We'll
actually
see.
so
We'll see what's up.
exhausting.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So don't expect an episode super soon. We're just gonna have
know.
well, you know, maybe you'll get one in a week. Maybe next week we'll have another episode. Maybe it'll be in 2 weeks. Maybe it'll be in 15 years, and I don't know.
Maybe we'll pull a ReZero and make you wait 5 years. You never know.
We'll see what happens. Honestly, it'll be probably soonish, but don't expect immediately. So we'll figure it out though. So.
Oh, big blown out white wall behind me. I just realized.
All right. Well, do we want to wrap up?
I think we've decided on the
decided
Girls Last
on
Tour, right?
Girls
So
Last Tour, yeah.
I believe so.
Sounds good.
We do plan on recording more and stuff. It's just a matter of time at this point in terms of when we can and stuff. We will find like a regular time to do it. I just need to figure shit out with my roommate. But yeah, we'll figure it out. It's all right, guys. Okay. Yeah.
All right then. Well, as always, thank you for stopping by and listening to our degenerate speech for the past hour and a half or so, hour 20,
Hour and 13 minutes.
hour and 13.
But you guys can just forget about all the stuff that Matt was saying earlier about all the hentai shit. We can just forget
Yeah.
about that.
So
Forget.
that's like an hour and 10 minutes then.
Don't forget.
Okay.
It's important.
We appreciate y'all stopping by. And with that, I guess we'll see you around whenever we decide to drop another episode. Bye-bye.
Yes.